Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I am sorry if it's a little echoey, but that's because I am in my bathroom. I am so excited to be starting another room makeover. I have done 2 living rooms, a kitchen, a laundry room, 2 bathrooms, the entire exterior, 4 bedrooms, the stairs, the hallway, and this is the very last room. So most of my makeovers are cosmetic. The room previously was functioning, it just wasn't my style, my taste, and I wanted to update it. I would barely call this room functioning. First is this whole vanity setup here. This, I don't understand why it's so short. It is hitting me like mid-thigh, and I am 5'8" and my husband is 6'2", so that just does not work. Also, and this is my fault, there used to be a big mirror here, but I removed it for another project that didn't end up working out, and so I just stuck this mirror right here, but it is like I'm too tall for it when I stand right here, so I have to squat down to actually be able to use this mirror in the bathroom. Not functioning. Also, literally not functioning is this faucet here. It was super leaky, so I just had to turn the water off on this side. There's also no storage, or barely any storage. The bathtub is just it's super shallow to be a soaking tub and unnecessarily wide. So we're going to be addressing that. Also, we had a leak up here that came down into the drywall that I will need. The leak has been repaired, but that will also be repaired up there. Lots of drywall repairs to do in here. Like up here, we have some nail pops, so we'll be taking care of all of those. So I know I want to do new vanity, new flooring, new bathtub, paint, new lights, basically almost everything completely new. And that can be overwhelming, I guess, to try to put everything together. I mean, it is overwhelming to me as well. So I'm going to show you how I start planning the bathroom and a few tips to make it a little bit easier. I'm using the website Canva to help me visualize the space a little bit better. So if everything is pretty much going, I'm going to focus on what might be staying, and that is this shower. I don't hate the tiles, so I went over to Pinterest and I typed in what type of tiles I have just to get some inspiration as to how people are using that same type of tile in their bathroom. And I found some pictures that I really think could work in my space, and that's giving me kind of a starting point to work from. So I headed back over to Canva and I just saved the pictures that I like, and I'm adding that to this mood board. And after I added the shower, I wanted to set the background to act as my paint color. So I want to do kind of like a creamy off-white, just so everything doesn't look stark next to a true white of the original background. So I'm adding in a warm vanity to warm up the space, and I want as much storage as possible. So I'm adding in some extra storage ideas, and then the new bathtub, what it might look like, and a little stool to also help warm things up. I might put something like that next to the bathtub, just extra little details. And then I'm thinking brass hardware maybe. So I'm just kind of adding that in. Removing the background is a really big helper to visualize. With the 2 sinks in the vanity, I could do 2 separate mirrors over each sink, or I could do 1 big mirror to go over the vanity. I'm not quite sure yet what I want to do, but this kind of gives me the option to see both. That's a decision that I can make later on down the line. So with all this white and wood that we have going on, I wanted something to ground the space, some kind of contrast. So I'm adding in this slate look tile just as an idea to give the room a little bit more depth, and just kind of duplicating that so I can see how it will look against the wood and the white. And this is the final mood board that I came up with. And I think it gives me a really good starting point for when I start making the design decisions. But before I can even start thinking about making this bathroom pretty again, I'm going to make it a good bit uglier first. I had been wondering why the baseboards in here were so much shorter than everywhere else. They're not. Whoever installed the tile did not remove the baseboards. So the tile just goes right up to it. It goes back down there. So I'll have to wait to remove the baseboards like this until I remove all of this tile. So here's another example of some drywall damage that I'm gonna have to repair. This is where the toilet paper holder was, but it has pulled out the piece of plastic that goes on this corner. So I'm gonna have to secure that plastic back down and then mud and texture. Okay, well, mystery solved. I started chipping away at all of this loose drywall, like it's just joint compound on top of this corner piece right here. And it's no mystery why it was loose. You can pull the nails out with your hands, and they just had one there at the bottom, one there, and they had become loose. So I'm going to secure this back with a bunch of screws and then remud it, and hopefully we won't have that same problem. Okay, let's talk about these nail pops, because these three right here are perfect examples, kind of like the stages. So this one right here is how it will start. You'll just see like a little bubble, and it might crack a tiny bit, and then it will come out even further like this, so it's really noticeable, and then it will finally break through. So we're gonna put screws on either side of each one of these, and then you can get the nail out, and the screws will hold everything in place while you're digging the nail out. Okay, now that everything is filled and sanded, I have to go over with the texture spray because my walls are textured. My house has knockdown texture. They sell different kinds if you have more of like orange peel. So I'm gonna spray this onto the spots that I filled, and then I wait 6 to 8 minutes, and then I'm going to take a putty knife, wet it, and kind of just smooth it over the top so we can get that same texture that's already on the wall. If we don't put the knockdown texture, it will stand out because the wall will be too smooth in that spot. Like this right here. I hope you can see this, but if I turn the light off, it gets too dark. But this is the texture of the wall here, and this was previously filled in up here, and it was just smoothed over. It wasn't textured, and it really stands out. Okay, I let this dry for a couple of hours. You can tell that it's dry because it turns completely white instead of like a more gray color. And just like any other joint compound or anything like that, this definitely needs to be primed before we go in with paint. But we are not to that point yet because I still have a lot to do in the bathroom, a lot more messes to make before I'm ready to paint all of these walls, because I feel like I'll just mess them up doing all the other stuff that I'm doing. So I'm going to wait to paint. So make sure that you're subscribed because next week we are going to be making a real big mess and you don't want to miss it. I'll see you guys then. Bye.